Welcome to the Ray Amanat Show. Wake the fuck up, America.
Hello, America. I got a treat for you today. By the way, welcome. This is the Ray Amanat Show. We're featured on the OBBM Network, Dots TV, which puts us on Roku, Apple TV, and so much more. You could also find us on YouTube and on the Facebook page. Just look up the Ray Amanat Show. So I want to get straight to the interview in this teachable moment. I'm interviewing a good friend of mine, Mr. Kevin Martin, who is a hypnotherapist, and he'll explain more in the interview. So sit back, relax, and if you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, please comment with any questions that you may have. All right, let's get to Mr. Kevin Martin. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in TV land or in social media land, as far as Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, or X, should I say. Welcome to the Ray Amanat Show. Hello, America. I am joined today by a special guest, Mr. Kevin Martin. Now, I've got a little bio here for you. Kevin is an author, a trainer, a speaker, a why coach. What is your why? We're going to get into that. He's an award-winning hypnotherapist and an NLP master practitioner. He understands how people learn and how people change. He brings his passion of helping people change to each and every client that he works with. Before we get into that, let's get into a little about the show. So, the Ray Amanat Show is an opinion-based show and does not reflect the views of any sponsors, affiliates, or other networks and social media platforms that feature this production, even guests. But, I only bring guests on that I kind of like their viewpoints on stuff. So, if you don't like it, tough titties. All right, portions of the show are pre-recorded from other sources. So let's get into Mr. Kevin Martin. So you kind of look like Mr. Wonderful on Shark Tank.
Do I? Well, that sounds great.
You could be Mr. So that's Mr. Wonderful, but you're Mr. Positive Effects. And his number, if you want to get a hold of him later on, is 978-494-4542. All right, let's dive into this. So, how did you or why did you become a hypnotherapist? What is the mysticism behind doing that? Do you do the little chain and ring and do that, or tell everybody about what that is?
I do. I should have brought it today. I do the pocket watch in front of audiences, not in front of my clients. But I can get into that a little bit more later. But how did I get into this? This is actually a question a lot of people ask. Being a hypnotherapist, it's unique. It's different. Not many people do that. So everybody wants to know, how'd you do that? And it's very personal to me. A long time ago, my wife and I discovered that we could not have children. So we decided to adopt. And we decided to adopt out of social services. So our oldest was 5.5 years old when we adopted him, but he was also had lived in 7 homes. So there was a lot of abuse, a lot of change for him. So he came with a lot of problems. And instead of getting better, no matter what we did, no matter what therapy, what doctors, what medication we had, he just got worse. And then we had to have him in a place for kids with behavioral therapy. And he was there for 7 years. And at 17 years old, his therapist said, nothing anyone can do for him anymore. He's got to be in psychiatric lockdown. And heavily drugged. And along the way, I noticed that the system was failing us and we needed to do something different. So I found this thing called NLP, Neuro Linguistic Programming. And I thought it would be the answer. Tony Robbins, that's what he's known for. And I went to all his stuff, but I never learned how to use it with anyone else. So I hired somebody at 17 years old. I hired someone to work with him. And in 3 5-hour sessions, it was all done. And bam, that was a miracle. And that's the miracle that changed my life. Not only our family's dynamics in my son's life, but my life, because that's when I decided I want to do this to help other people like that. And I've been doing it ever since.
So I'm going to do a follow-up question as far as your NLP. We're going to get to that in a
Sure.
second. But have you ever come across people that, let's say they're very religious and they think that it's witchcraft and want no part of it? Can you explain it's not the therapeutic, but the medical way or the scientific way
Sure.
that is done so that people that are kind of skeptics would take a second look at it to get help. If they haven't if they're at rock bottom and nothing else is working, why not, shed some light on how this works from a medical point of view.
Okay, sure. First of all, yes, I have had many people come to me and accuse me of being a witch or something like that. Even my own family, when I worked
Well, you would be a warlock.
I would be a warlock, yes. Even my own family, when I worked out of the house, the room I worked out of was called the voodoo room. So I had that skepticism. Hypnosis, by the way, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, is also known as waking hypnosis. It's a form of hypnosis. When the founders studied it, they studied one of the top hypnotists in the country at the time. So there's hypnosis in it. Hypnosis is one of the most studied alternative healing techniques out there. There's been MRIs and the EEGs and everything done to show that, hey, the state of hypnosis is a very natural state. And it's a natural state that makes you suggestible. So it allows the person doing the hypnosis to actually help the person being hypnotized change their behavior, change their ways to do that. So there's a lot of science behind it, a lot of psychology behind it. And yes, it is not witchcraft. Sometimes it looks miraculous. Sometimes the person on the other end said, oh my God, something just released. Oh, I can't believe it. This is a miracle. But it's not. It's not woo-woo. It's not mystical. It's scientific.
So apart from doing this with your child, what has been the most profound case that you've worked with or that you've done personally that is kind of mind-blowing, where people go, it is a miracle?
I've had several. One of the ones is one of the most difficult ones. I had this mid-20s woman come to me, and her parents brought her. And she was well educated. She was had a degree in bioscience and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, because of some event, all of a sudden she was almost agoraphobic. She would break out crying and almost faint when she, would hear certain names or would walk into a certain room in the house. Nobody knew what to do. And the hospital said, hey, this is all a bunch of OCD. She didn't have them. It was just some really innocent moment. And I listened to her and I worked with her. And it took a little longer than most. But after a month or two, she was able to go out to a ball game with her father. Here she was almost agoraphobic. And she had a phobia of people. And she thought, it was very dangerous. And after 6 months, she was back working again, and she was doing it. It was tremendous. I myself were so surprised and so amazed. It's not me; it's the things I do, and it's the cooperation of my clients. That's really what gets changed. That was one of my most profound ones.
Awesome. So you use your hands a lot.
I do.
And you have a mic.
Yes.
And you're covering the mic. So
oh yeah, I do this.
I don't want to
Well, I
get
apologize
no,
out
I
there.
don't want to get any bad feedback on that because I want people to hear every word that you're
Okay.
saying.
Yep.
So don't do that. All right. So NLP, I see a lot of this on social media where people can get certified as an NLP coach or practitioner, and you're an NLP master practitioner.
Mhm.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Sure. From a coaching standpoint, I think that NLP is probably the best tool there because you can affect change almost instantaneously in a lot of cases. Neurolinguistic program started back in the 70s. It was founded by John Grinder and Richard Bandler, who really they just wanted to see how to emulate excellence. You know, they took the top people in the world, and one of the, they love therapists, so they took the top therapists in the world, and they wanted to see how can we reproduce this. And in doing so, they found this great body of knowledge that really represented the mind-body connection. I'm using my hands too much now. And,
You're good.
and where you can actually have all sorts of techniques to change all sorts of things in your life. They did all that study, and it's amazing. And so, yeah, the NLP, I would recommend NLP to anyone. Most of the practitioner training, that's the first level, you receive personal change. And that's because you do the exercises, you experience the exercises that you do, and you make the changes. And I don't know if it's like that in any other, when I'm a doctor, do I put myself under surgery so I can feel what it's like? No, that doesn't happen, right? And so, yeah, this is one of the places where I've experienced every single technique that I use.
Yourself.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you've gone through it yourself. And it's kind of like with me with martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
Before I share anything that I learn, I have it done to me. I have to know that it works before I use it as an educational tool to help somebody else get out of a bad situation.
Exactly.
So you're learning everything on you to make sure, well, yeah, this is valid. It has results. And since it's results based, I got this. I think I can use this to help other people.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, I train too. So I never teach anyone something that I haven't experienced myself. So that I know that. And I never use something with clients that I haven't experienced myself. And your later question might be, well, how, are there side effects? There's no side effects to what I do. So there's no danger.
Hypnosis, it's post suggestion, but
Yeah.
you can suggest somebody clucks like a chicken or whatever else. If it's something they don't want to do, they're not going to do it.
Exactly.
that
Yeah, that's a
deep-rooted.
big myth of hypnosis brought on by TV and by stage show as
Yeah,
well.
cluck like a chicken.
Cluck like a chicken.
Cluck you to.
And I've made people cluck like a chicken, but they wanted to have fun. They wanted to have fun.
All right. So has hypnotherapy or hypnosis and NLP, since how long you been doing it?
Over 20 years now.
Over 20 years. Do you still have the same excitement now that you did when you first got exposed to it?
That's the cool thing. I really do. Every time I see someone walk out of my office or I get off a Zoom call and they call me and they said, "Oh my God, Kevin, it's working," I get amazed. Even though I've done this hundreds of times, I just love helping people make change. I love it. And so I still get excited when I use a simple technique. I've created my own technique. I get excited when I see that work. And so, yeah, I
So
still have
when
that
the light
excitement.
bulbs go off, and I have that same feeling, that's what motivates me to continue teaching. But when you see a change in their eyes, the light bulb goes off, and you see a whole different person in front of you, that's what it's all about.
Yes, exactly. When I get a call and the caller says to me, "Kevin, what the hell did you do to me?" I said, "What are you talking about?" He says, "I had all these anger problems for years. I had rage problems for years, and now I don't give a care about what's happening. I said, I love it, but let's settle that down.
Right. So let's get into a little bit about all the other areas that you work with people. So again,
Sure.
if you want to get a hold of Mr. Kevin Martin, his phone number is area code 978-494-4542, and I will post this again later on this episode. Grace Works Wellness at graceworkswellness.com. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Well, I just moved down here a little over a year and a half ago from New England, from Boston area, where I've lived all my life. And when I came down here, I was looking for an office to work in. And I found this Graceworks. I found out that this person who runs Graceworks was looking for someone to have an office in. It's a place where there are all psychotherapists. So they're all trained therapists. Unlike me, I'm a hypnotherapist, but I'm not a licensed counselor, licensed medical professional of any sort. I was really surprised, but they're a holistic place. They believe in other things to also help problems like nutrition and like yoga and exercise. And so they were thrilled to have a hypnotherapist there. So when I do work locally, I work under that realm and I work at Graceworks Wellness.
Okay, now we have Positive Effects Hypnosis.
Positive Effects Hypnosis is actually Positive Effects Coaching in Hypnosis, because I do coaching. I do coaching as well, and I've had that for 20 years. This is where I started out after my son had his miracle happen to him. I started Positive Effects Coaching in Hypnosis, and so I've been doing that for a while. And anything that I do and anything that I train, when I train other hypnotists or I train others and do workshops, it's under Positive Effects Coaching and Hypnosis.
So, and the website for that is poseffects.com.
Yeah,
Poseffects.com.
short for
And
Positive
then
Effects.
we've got, so you're, again, a man of many hats like me. You've got Growthcraft at growthcraft.org. So that's a nonprofit. Can you talk? Tell everyone a little bit about that.
I'll tell everyone a little bit about that. I've run 4 companies. I started and run 4 companies. I ran a software company. I ran a sales training company. And I run this company, and I've run, I can't remember the other companies, but so I like startups. I love startups. And some friends of mine back up north got involved with helping startups, and they needed advisors. So this Growthcraft has advisors of any sort, including mindset, which is what I do for them. So I've already worked with entrepreneurs. And yes, if you've ever started a business or you ever managed a business, there might be a little stress or anxiety. Mm-hmm. So I've already worked with some of our startups and helping the owners and the founders get over the stress and anxiety and get focus in their life, because that's what we can do with NLP and hypnosis.
So if you know of the audience here, if you know somebody, whether it's yourself, family member, neighbor, friend, that can benefit from, you're at rock bottom, you've tried everything else, you don't want to do the medication stuff, and you're open-minded to trying something new. Reach out to Kevin and see what he can do to help you. And I'm sure if for whatever reason you can't help them, you can refer them to people that can, mm-hmm. that are still holistic or homeopathic. Mm-hmm. If they don't want to deal with surgery, they don't want to deal with drugs, they don't want to deal with anything else.
Exactly.
So if you want to get help, give Kevin a call and all the information that we've got there. If you need other types of help, I post this all the time on my shows. Mainly, a lot of times news medias will post these numbers after an event has happened. Mm-hmm. And, I would rather prevent a bad event from happening. So if you know somebody, or if you yourself are going through domestic violence, you have the domestic violence hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE. If you are suicidal, if you want to hurt yourself in any way or something more drastically, because as you say, shift happens.
Shift happens.
He's here he's the shift changer, so shift happens. We have the suicide prevention hotline if you need immediate help at 1-800-273-TALK. And if you're a witness to any sort of crime in your neighborhood, community, or workplace, and you want to make an anonymous tip, you can call Crime Stoppers USA at 1-800-222-TIPS. Our whole goal is always to wake the clock up, America. We're trying to help you get out of your own way so that you can achieve the successes in life with your family, with your work, with everything. So, Kevin is here to help you wake that clock up, as well as this show. I hope you guys got a lot from it. That is our time. Thank you, Mr. Martin, for coming on the show. Again, if you're on social media, on our Facebook page or YouTube, leave some comments. If you have questions for Mr. Martin, post them on the Facebook, and I will forward them and get him to reply to you. Aside from that, get a hold of him, go to his websites that I will post again at the end of the show. So thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next show. And I'm back. I hope you guys enjoyed the interview with Mr. Kevin Martin. I'm going to put his information up one more time. So if you want to get a hold of him, his phone number is area code 978-494-4542. And here's a list of the websites that he's got. For GraceWorks Wellness, go to graceworkswellness.com. Positive Effects Hypnosis, go to poseffects.com. And GrowthCraft, go to growthcraft.org. That is my time. We hope that you enjoyed it. We'd like to thank the OBBM Network again for hosting us. If you go to the obbmnetwork.tv and search up the Ray Amanat Show, you'll be able to see all episodes, past episodes, and current episodes. So thank you, OBBM Network, for carrying this show. I would also, if you would like to get a hold of me, you can email me personally at info@therayamanatshow.com. Again, that's info@therayamanatshow.com. Questions, concerns, if you'd like to say something about the show that I can read on our next episode, I would love to do that. That again is our time. So thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next episode. Take care.
Welcome to the Ray Amanat Show. Wake the clock up, America.